Hello, Mr. J.R. Argent. How you doing?
You're doing pretty good.
Very good. So you've been teaching me a lot about TTRPGs, D&D. For some reason, I bypassed that in all these years. But I'm learning, and there's a lot there that's so new to me that really is interesting. And one of them that came up, and I want you to talk about this, is I asked you, so have you ever built out a whole world with rich lore and all these, and you had and your players were playing in your world, and you really want them to go down a certain path, or you had it all ready and you had trapdoor, you had all this great narrative and a great payoff. They choose the different door.
Yeah.
So they don't go left, they go right, and they're somewhere else, or they go elsewhere in a different direction altogether. What's that experience like? Because I'd imagine it would be infuriating for me, where I spent all this time developing this world and they didn't walk it the path just right. That's where I tend to really try to exert much control over my game world.
Yeah.
Whereas the tabletop world, it depends on who the architect of the thing, tends to be looser.
Yeah.
But what is that experience like, and how do you reconcile that?
So it's all about approach, right? When I am GMing or game mastering, my first thing that I actually was a GM for was not D&D, it was Pathfinder, which is a return to form. D&D had a 3.5 edition, and Pathfinder tried to recreate that while D&D was going down the 5th edition route, which is a different rule set. Not going to get into the weeds with that, but that's just... I started with Pathfinder, and my first ever story was a narrative. You're going to go here, you're going to go here, you're going to go here.
Yeah.
And I railroaded. I learned that the players did not like being on a track. They wanted to push the boundaries. It's like the analogy, which they've proven is false, but it's still a good analogy, where you build a fence at a playground, the kids are going to play around the fence. They're going to get as close to the fence as possible and try to push those boundaries. But you take away the fence, they're going to naturally congregate in the center. There's safety there. And I feel that same way with my D&D. If I tried to railroad my players, they would attempt to break the railroad as much as possible. They would try to build a new track.
Yes.
So in my more modern, my D&D experience, I've built 2 full worlds, ran 3 campaigns. And in all of them, I went with a sandbox approach. After I have an initial narrative event that brings them all together.
Yeah.
A inciting incident that's like, these people have a reason to be in a party.
Yes.
Because your characters kind of have to have a reason to be together. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, because it's like your character, the player.
Yeah, there's going to be some, and that's even with digital game development, where even if it's like a puzzle, like a lot of time, even if it's like a puzzle game or a platformer or something like that, there's like some semblance of narrative at the beginning, Daisy was taken, Mario, or there it is. There's a thing. There's some framing that occurs.
Exactly, and that needs to be there so that you can reorient yourself if you ever get lost. If the party is like, okay, me and this character in the game, this player, are arguing.
Yeah.
My character doesn't like the way his character thinks. Like, I have a pure good, a lawful good character, and this guy's chaotic evil. Why are we in the party together?
Yeah.
Because in a real world situation, a lot of times the lawful good character and the chaotic evil character would just part ways. Mm-hmm. So you have to build a framing device so that the characters make sense to be tethered together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like, it has to be this party. It's just a unified goal that requires a group.
Yes.
But beyond that, as you're building out the story, I take a sandbox approach. Mm-hmm. And there will be routes that I will line out that I really want them to go down. and I'll put extra little tidbits. I'll put some extra juicy, extra savory steaks there so that maybe they'll be tempted by it.
Yeah.
But sometimes players latch on to the smallest things.
Well, and sometimes you probably say, yeah, I'm with you. Let's throw this script and let's go with it.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the beauty of tabletop, is the amorphous nature of the stories you can build and how the characters are at the table. So you don't have to come up with everything. Like, I will make a difficult encounter. Like something that the D&D rule set says is deadly, that these players at this level cannot win.
Yeah, that's a good convention for even like your JRPGs.
Yeah.
Like, there's areas you can't access yet.
But I know with the
somebody will.
Yeah, with the creativity of the players.
Yeah.
I introduce them to the scenario, and they've always been able to.
So do you have like a death switch somewhere like that you know of with your like you just kind of know like, okay, they can try everything else and it won't work, but this one area if they like kind of triangulate in this solution, then I'm gonna honor it. Is there that?
It's not even that, because I like to, if they say something that makes sense, I don't hold rigid.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. So okay, so you're flexible. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's where this is more now. This is more of sculpting than it is painting.
Yeah,
literally.
So,
this is you're iterating. Yeah, like and you're going with, because the sculptor doesn't go in knowing exactly like how much pressure to apply in this area. Mm-hmm. That area is not even revealed yet because it's still in a block, But you, as the sculptor, you're sculpting the world actively.
Correct.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
The example that I think the D&D 5e Player's Handbook gives you is, okay, we have rules written for what a longsword does, what a great axe does. But if your players use enlarge reduce on yourself, and they choose to enlarge themselves, they grab a fallen tree and they throw it at somebody. Yeah, you come up with the stats for that. They have rules for improvised weapons, but it's up to the DM to be like.
I gotta ask this: is there ever any way? Like, are there situations where the DM would be swapped with a player? Like, say that's part of the story where the player is able to bring down the DM and occupy that spot, or some other like that would be a meta narrative, kind of very interesting though. Could you imagine, or like one of the players becomes effectively like topples the creator of this realm.
So
takes over like a Wario Mario, like
If you wanted to, you definitely could. There is a precedent for that.
Wow.
There is a wish spell where you can wish anything into existence.
That would make for some interesting, because then you can have someone else who may or may not be adept at being a dungeon master. Now he's got control over your world and can wreak havoc, take it wherever so he could completely malign or completely just run your IP through the dirt if he so chooses.
Disney to Star Wars.
That's cool. Well, hey, thank you so much. This has been great. Yeah.